If you've ever wondered why wealth keeps slipping through your fingers, Jim Rohn has a brutally honest truth for you, and it's something most people refuse to face. Because the real reason you're not wealthy isn't bad luck or the economy, it's something far closer to home. Something that might even make you uncomfortable. And in just a moment, I'll reveal exactly what that is. But first, let's talk about what Jim calls the cornerstone of wealth: personal responsibility. Now, before you roll your eyes and think you've heard it all before, trust me, this isn't the standard motivational cliche. Jim Rohn famously said you must take full responsibility for exactly where you are financially. No blaming, no excuses, just pure, uncomfortable accountability. So here's the question that'll change your life. If you're solely responsible for your current wealth, does that scare you or empower you? Stick with me, because the answer isn't what you think. Now, if personal responsibility is the cornerstone, the foundation beneath it is your daily habits. Here's something Jim often emphasized. Your current bank balance isn't just a reflection of your choices. It's a mirror image of your daily routines. Think about your average day. Are you spending it intentionally building wealth? Or are you simply drifting through it, hoping things will somehow magically improve? Jim says clearly, if your habits aren't aligned with wealth, no motivational speech or inspirational book can help you. But here's the twist, and you won't believe how simple it is. The habits you need aren't complex. They're tiny, manageable changes that anyone can start today. So why aren't more people wealthy? Before I dive into that, let me quickly introduce myself. I'm Walt, and here's another brutally honest truth from Jim Rohn. Most people simply underestimate the power of consistency. Imagine planting a seed. You water it daily even though you don't see immediate results. Weeks pass, nothing visible happens, but beneath the soil, everything is happening. Roots are growing deeper, spreading wider, preparing for massive growth. Wealth building works exactly the same way. Small, consistent actions compound silently over time. But here's the critical part. Consistency requires patience and discipline, two things many people lack. So ask yourself honestly, how patient and disciplined are you really? All right, you're probably thinking, okay, Walt, but I've tried being consistent and nothing changed. What's the deal? Well, according to Jim Rohn, there's a subtle yet crucial factor most people overlook: their personal philosophy. Your philosophy about money isn't just your opinion, it's your financial blueprint. It's what subconsciously controls your decisions and actions. So here's a shocking insight. Your philosophy was probably formed by people who were never wealthy themselves. Your parents, teachers, friends, good people, sure, but not financial experts. Are you starting to see why wealth has been elusive? Now let me open another loop for you. There's one more brutally honest truth Jim shares, and it's about your environment. No, not just where you live, but who you surround yourself with. You've probably heard the saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Well, Jim Rohn firmly believed this applies directly to your bank account as well. If your closest circle isn't actively pursuing financial growth, chances are neither are you. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. You might need to reevaluate your relationships. But hold on, I'm not saying abandon your friends and family. I'm saying intentionally choose mentors, friends, or communities that push you towards your financial goals. Imagine how your life could transform if your inner circle inspired wealth rather than fear of losing it. Can you picture it? Because that's exactly what's possible. Before we fully unpack that, let me quickly loop back. Remember I mentioned small habits earlier? You're probably wondering what those habits are. Well, Jim highlighted one habit above all others, and it's so deceptively simple most people completely ignore it: self-education. But wait, I'm not talking about formal education. Jim believed formal education makes you a living, but self-education makes you a fortune. Think about that. You have unlimited resources, books, courses, podcasts that can literally change your financial future. So why haven't you used them fully yet? Because here's the harsh reality. Most people would rather binge watch shows than invest in themselves. Are you ready to break that cycle? And here's one final critical insight before we move on. The reason Jim Rohn's truths feel brutal isn't because they're harsh, it's because they're true. And truth, especially about ourselves, can be incredibly uncomfortable. But it's precisely this discomfort that creates real, lasting change. Now, what if I told you there's a simple yet profound shift you could make right now that would instantly start building your wealth? You definitely won't want to miss it. Jim Rohn insisted the simplest yet most profound shift you can make right now is changing how you see your own value. Listen carefully because this is crucial. Your income and wealth reflect exactly how much you believe you are worth. Not your skills, not your education, your self-worth. Think about this for a moment. Why do some people effortlessly command high salaries or grow massive businesses, while others, equally talented, struggle? It's because those successful individuals truly believe they're worth it, deep down at a subconscious level. Your self-worth sets the price tag on your services, talents, and ultimately, your financial future. Now here's the critical point most people miss. Increasing your self-worth isn't just about positive affirmations or motivation. Jim Rohn explained it clearly. It's about genuinely investing in yourself, taking concrete actions that prove to your subconscious mind you're valuable. How often do you intentionally invest in your own growth? When was the last time you deliberately upgraded your skills, expanded your knowledge, or simply challenged yourself beyond your comfort zone? Because the uncomfortable truth Jim shared is this: if you're not actively investing in yourself, you're subconsciously accepting mediocrity. And here's a powerful story Jim once told that captures this perfectly. He spoke about two men working at the same company with identical jobs, identical hours, and identical responsibilities. Yet one earns double the income of the other. When? The difference wasn't talent or luck. It was self-perception and consistent self-investment. The man earning more regularly attended seminars, read books, and improved his skills. He consistently demonstrated to himself and to the world his commitment to growth. The result? His employer recognized his increased value and paid him accordingly. Could this scenario describe your life? What if doubling your income was simply a matter of demonstrating to yourself and the world that you're worth it? So here's the brutally honest truth Jim wanted everyone to grasp. Wealth isn't something you pursue. It's something you attract by becoming a person of higher value. And becoming that person isn't about huge, dramatic actions. It's about small, daily improvements. Jim famously said, "Success is something you attract by the person you become." Think deeply about this. How are you becoming more valuable every day? But here's where it gets even more interesting. Jim Rohn emphasized another uncomfortable truth about wealth. It's not reserved for the lucky or privileged. Wealth, he argued, is simply the predictable result of consistently doing the right things. Yet most people ignore this predictability, treating wealth as something mysterious or reserved for the chosen few. Imagine how empowered you'd feel if you truly embraced that wealth is predictable and achievable for you, starting today. All right, Walt here again, and let me ask you something direct. What's one thing you could do today to prove to yourself that you're serious about your financial future? Not next week, not someday, today. Could you pick up a book you have been putting off? Join a community of growth-minded people? Or maybe enroll in a course you've hesitated about? Because Jim Rohn believed that the brutal yet liberating truth about wealth is simple. It starts the moment you decide you are worth investing in. And here's the final brutal truth from Jim Rohn that ties everything together. Wealthy people aren't wealthy because they're lucky. They're wealthy because they're intentional. Every wealthy individual has consciously crafted their life. They've chosen specific actions, environments, habits, and beliefs that naturally produce wealth. They didn't stumble upon wealth by accident. They built it with purpose. Now, what if you started living with that same level of intentionality? How would your life and your bank account transform? Here's what Jim challenged everyone to do, and now I'm challenging you directly. Start becoming intentional today. Evaluate your habits, your environment, your circle, your education, and most importantly, your self-worth. Because once you accept that you alone hold the power to change your financial future, everything shifts. Imagine waking up each day knowing exactly what you need to do to build wealth, feeling confident and capable because you're consistently becoming a person of higher value. Can you see it clearly now? Remember, Jim Rohn's brutally honest truths aren't meant to discourage. They're meant to empower you. Embracing them, even if uncomfortable, is exactly what separates those who dream about wealth from those who achieve it. Now ask yourself, are you finally ready to step into that empowered version of yourself? Because your wealth begins the moment you truly believe you are worth it.